Greetings and already fucked up the opening. Greetings and salutations out there, everybody. Hope you're doing well wherever you are. Welcome to a new episode of the Psycho Nerd Podcast. I am your host, the Psycho Nerd, joined by my partner in crime, my ride or die, Miss CJ. How's it going, CJ?
Going well. Hello.
Mm-hmm. Except for you messing up the opening. I'm not going to edit that out. I'm going to leave that in there just to make people laugh. Just to get a laugh out of people.
That's fine.
All right. As long as they laugh, that's all that matters.
Or they'll roll their eyes, whichever.
Well, we won't know anyway, so we can't see them. So there you go.
No, I can't see them either, so.
Yeah, well, that goes both ways, so there you go. Well, we are currently on February 9th, 2026, and we're going to do something on this channel that I have been wanting to do since my inception of this channel to begin with, and that is going back and talking about all the movies that I saw the last month, that being January. There were 10 different movies that I saw for the first time, and I've been wanting to do this for a while, as I said, so I thought it was about time we finally jump on this, so. Now, just to reiterate, 10 movies that I saw in January for the first time. 3 of them are older films, have already been out, but I just never seen them before. And then the other 7 are all brand new movies that I saw in January. Now, just to clarify, not all of these movies were actually released in January. There's some movies that came out December, but I was not able to watch them until January. And then, and there will be movies that were released in January and that we'll talk about next month in February, so on and so forth. So So
pretty much just the movie that you watched in general.
Just want to make sure, in case anybody out there is also up and up on movies, wondering like, oh, why didn't you count this as part of your December thing or whatever, and just to clarify. So
because you didn't make a December one.
I clearly did not, but I could. Lord knows I have the listing of everything I saw in December, so I could go backwards if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Oh, she's frustrated with me already.
No.
That didn't take long. We're only been on for 2 minutes.
I am not frustrated with you. What are you talking about?
I guess I don't know what I'm talking about. It happens. So some of these movies you did see with me, and a few of them you did not. Mm-hmm. One thing I will mention, there is a movie that came out, in case anybody's wondering. Primate also came out in January, but we're not going to go into detail about that because we've already talked about that movie on this channel because we saw it at Fantastic Fest. Yes, it was the opening night movie. It rocked. Saw it 2 more times after it came out, both of us together, and I took my son to go see it. It's awesome. If you haven't seen Primate, go watch Primate. It's a fun movie.
It's fun. Just don't take it literally.
Well, no, because it's about a killer ape. It's essentially Cujo with an ape.
Is an ape.
Yeah, it's Cujo with an ape.
Oh.
It's the same scenario. If you've ever seen Cujo, similar situation. So
I just squeaked.
Yeah, you squeaked. We have a very noisy chair. We're a bunch of high rollers up in here. Yeah. So for the older films that I saw last month, I ranked them from lowest to highest. The lowest is The Room.
Oh.
Directed, written, produced by Tommy Wiseau.
I'm so glad I only saw a part of that movie because that was enough.
Oh, come on. You missed classic lines like, "You're tearing me apart, Lisa."
I saw that part. I don't need to see it again.
Okay, how about, "I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not." Oh, hi, Mark.
I think you put more inflection in your voice than he did. Yes, I saw that. And then repeatedly a little earlier when you were playing it over and over again.
I wanted to memorize that line for the record, so that's why I subjected her to it.
That's awful.
It's funny and you know it.
That was awful.
But the Nostalgia Critics' reaction to it was pretty funny, you have to admit.
Yeah, there was no reason to repeat it, though.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I've known about this movie for years. Coincidentally, the Nostalgia Critic originally did it on his channel years ago. That's how I found out about it. After being on Lord Scuba Cabra's Crypto Cringe, he mentioned that the next episode he will do, whenever that may be, because he's kind of tied up right now, will be The Room. So I thought, let me go ahead and check it out and just kind of see how it really is. And it's one of those movies where you just, I give all the appreciation, all the credit in the world for him making a movie that he really wanted to make. But this is one of those, there is nothing really good about it.
He seems like a very conceited man that he needed to have the lead role and do producing and do the writing and he didn't want to share.
You need to watch, what is it called? The Disaster Artist with, it's got like James Franco and Seth Rogen and a bunch of other actors that I like in it. That is actually a very well done movie that deals with the production of that film and whatnot. Not a documentary by any means, but it's actually an actual legit movie. But it's very interesting to watch to see how the progression of that movie played out. But this movie, this is a movie that I think it would work better if you watch it with a group of people. Maybe with being under the influence of some kind of a substance, whether it be herbal essence or maybe some alcohol. Or a combination of the two, either or.
I think I'll be fine. I don't think I want to do either of that. I think I'll be good.
Yeah. If I give you some fire, you won't drink it and watch the movie?
Oh, I'll drink it. I'll just pretend it's not existing because I just ruined my buzz.
Oh, jeez. It'll harsh her buzz. Yeah.
Where is this fire you speak of?
I talk right now. I need you sober and clean and thinking.
I can do that.
Yeah, well, this one definitely was the bottom of the list for this last month of January. It's a fun movie to watch if you can get into the bad acting that's going around. I don't think there's maybe one actor in the entire film that feels like they're legit trying, but everybody else, not so much. And not to mention the fact some of the same situations are repeated over and over and over again. Not to mention the fact that it's almost like a softcore porn.
That's a lot of mentioning.
You said that the last podcast, and I'm gonna kick you. But no, that's what it feels like. In the first 30 minutes, there's like 5 random sex scenes.
Maybe he really wanted to have.
I guess so, and you know
Maybe
what?
That was the only way he would get something.
Well, not only that, but apparently the guy doesn't know where a vagina is because when it shows him doing her when he's on top of her, I swear to God, his angle, it looks like he's fucking her belly button.
Maybe he is. Maybe he's in the belly buttons. I don't know.
That's not how it works.
Well, he doesn't care.
I'm sorry, that's basic. Okay, if the cavemen were able to figure it out, why the hell couldn't he? Caveman figured out how to have sex.
He fits just perfectly in the belly button.
Okay, I don't know. Wow. On that note, I think we're going to move on from the room.
Okay, good.
Okay, that's what it was all about. It was just her trying to move things along. All right, so coming in at number 2 for the older films was Greenland. I actually watched this one right before part 2 came out in January.
Never saw it.
Well, hopefully you check them out at some point in the future. We'll go ahead and talk about this one, and then we will be talking about Greenland too. That's in the other part of the list, I should say. So, brief overview. You've got John Garrity, played by Mr. Gerard Butler. His estranged wife, who's actually played by Marina Baccarin. You might know her from, Serenity. She was in, what was the fucking show called? God damn it. Firefly. Good show.
I know that.
Damn good. Yeah, see, she knows it. And also, she was also in the Deadpool film. She played Deadpool's girlfriend. So, and if you don't know who Gerard Butler is, man, you haven't been watching any movies for the past 20 years. The guy's been around a bit. He was also in Phantom of the Opera.
Which one?
The Phantom of the Opera that came out like 20 roughly years ago.
Oh, okay.
Or however many years it is. Not one of my personal favorites, but we're getting on topic on that. So, the synopsis for Greenland. You've got John Garrity, his estranged wife, and their young son embark on a perilous journey to find sanctuary as a planet-killing comet hurtles towards Earth.
Aren't all comets planet-killing if they're big enough?
In the world of disaster films that we've been getting ever since the 90s, you're not wrong. Deep Impact, Armageddon, which is a guilty pleasure. Not one of my favorites, but it is a fun popcorn movie. I can't pretend it's not.
It's a sad popcorn movie.
It can be without giving too much away. Yes, it totally can.
Well, it's called Armageddon. You're not really having to give anything away.
If my brother was here, he would say, everybody dies. But that's not entirely true.
It really isn't.
No, it's not. It's really not. But for the record, I'm not the biggest fan of disaster films. Aside from the ones we just named, there's other ones like The Core, The Day After Tomorrow. You brought up before Independence Day. I guess you can call that a disaster film. I feel like it's also
everybody's in peril because aliens are trying to kill the world.
Well, I said I guess, so I kind of agree with you. Yes, but I was also going to say that it also feels like a nod to the 50s B movies from way back when, where aliens were constantly coming down here trying to fight us. Yeah.
Now they're just running away.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. But anyway, going back to synopsis, amid terrifying accounts of cities being leveled, Garrity's experience the best and worst in humanity. So basically what happens is that the family gets picked. There's like this big lottery that's going on throughout the world where people are being picked specifically of their occupations. Like, okay, we need doctors, we need carpenters, we need, I don't know, plumbers, whatever, cooks, just people who can do different stuff. And I'm kind of being funny with those last couple, but but she's not laughing. So I guess it wasn't that funny.
I'm not trying to interrupt you.
Oh, that's where we're going here, huh?
Yep.
I go back and listen to my past stuff and say that you every so often interrupt me. Now she's just going to sit there quietly and not talk at all. Made you laugh. Yeah. But anyway, so the family gets picked. They, everyone around them is like super pissed off. Like, okay, how the hell did you get picked and we didn't? And when they finally make it to the location, something happens. The family gets separated where the mom is with the son. Gerard Butler, you can see my frustration with this movie already. That they get separated, and it turns out that the son gets the family disqualified because apparently he has asthma. But apparently they didn't do their fucking research, so they didn't know this ahead of time. You think if they'd done their research, they would have picked up on that already. But then again, the mom could have just lied. I think you mentioned that last time we talked about this movie.
Yeah.
Could have just lied. But, it's like, this is the end of the world going on here, people. I say all bets are off,
Yeah. And depending on how bad his asthma is.
It was noticeable. I think he has
really
an
lie
attack.
about it.
I guess not. But I guess you could have found a way to play it off. But they don't have his medication. They leave it in the car. That's where the problem
Well, that's stupid. What the fuck?
You would think as parents they would have remembered that. I understand it's hectic, but I mean,
how old is this kid?
8, 9, 10, something like that.
Why didn't he have it with him?
Hell if I know. I only saw it the one time. I literally saw it right before Greenland 2 came out, and that's been a month now. So
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
This movie is not bad. I didn't think it was terrible. I thought it was well made, well acted. It's got some good special effects. It's just one of those movies where things happen along the way that just kind of frustrate me a little bit. Just decisions that are made, situations that are happening to these characters. It gets frustrating after a while. There's even one scene where a guy realizes not so much who the mother and kid are, but realizes that they're going to a different location because something happens at the initial location where all the planes are at, and they have to try to go to a different location to try to get on a separate plane to get to the safe haven location, essentially. But mind you, the parents are still separated at this point. Yeah, I'm not going too much into detail here, but this particular situation, the guy driving comes up with the idea of kicking the mother out and stealing the kid and trying to get in that way. Forgetting the fact that they have already scanned their shit. The mom tries to explain this to this guy, but he doesn't listen anyway. Yeah, it's one of those situations where I'm like, okay, dude, I get what you're doing. I understand your mentality, but you're going about this all wrong. And what you're doing right now is part of the reason why things don't work out in these situations for humanity. You know what I mean? You represent some of the worst parts of humanity.
Humanity is the reason why things like this go wrong. Not just him, humanity.
But I think that's pretty much what I would want to say about that. I mean, the movie, again, it's not terrible. I thought it was okay for what it was. It was watchable. It definitely needs a repeat viewing down the road at some point.
Of course it does.
Well, since you've never seen this or even part 2, then that means that's a double feature we have to do in the future.
Well, there you go.
So that's a date down the road. There
Awesome.
you go. Double feature date night, people. Double feature date night.
We have done that.
Yes, we have. We just did one on Valentine's Day. For the record, we're filming the second part of the podcast a few days after we initially started it because it wasn't going very well. And it's taken us almost a week to come back to it. So just so you know, because at the beginning of the podcast, I did state that we were doing it on, I think, February the 9th, and we are now the 17th. So
yeah, he kind of got a little grumpy, so he needed to back away.
I wasn't doing a very good job. I wasn't, my brain was like farting left and right, and I just could not concentrate. So it just wasn't coming out well. But the first part of the podcast, the first 7 minutes were perfect. 7 minutes. Everything after that went to shit. But it was my fault, not yours. So Greenland, not bad for what it was. But you know what? Again, we'll see how I feel about it after a repeat viewing. And then when I do watch it a second time, I will more than likely do a second viewing on my channel. More than likely.
That's a lot of viewing.
The channel is the repeat movie viewer.
Oh.
Ha.
Ha.
Anyway, okay, so moving on to the number one past movie that I saw in January, Get Out.
That was an interesting movie.
Interesting movie. That's an understatement, I think.
If I found out that someone did to me what they did to them, the cops wouldn't be able to get in time because I'd probably hurt them.
Oh, that's very vague.
Well, I'm not going to give it away.
Well, you know what? Let me at least go ahead and address this real quick. I should have mentioned this earlier. For the duration of this podcast, there may be some spoilers involved with these movies, especially, you know, since we're talking about a movie that has been out for a little while. So I am going to put it into the description. In the once I put this on YouTube, I will put in the description box a timestamp for all these movies. So if you're curious about what we review going ahead, you can look at that. And there's something in there that you don't want us to potentially ruin for you, you're more than welcome to skip on that. So that's totally up to you.
Maybe he should have said that at the very beginning.
Yeah, well, you know what? I make mistakes. I'm only human. I'm only human.
Yes, I know you are. Anyway,
so Get Out. Get Out. Oh, I'm talking to you. Get Out.
No.
Well, it was worth a shot. Anyway, so real quick, we'll talk about the cast. You got Daniel Kaluuya, who's been in a bunch of different films, but
Kaluuya.
Yeah, but I hope I'm pronouncing that right, by the way. Most notably, he was in Nope, also done by Jordan Peele. She wasn't really big on that one. It kind of confused her. I saw it a couple of times. I'm still iffy. I need to go back and rewatch it. I'm not saying it was terrible. I just don't know how I feel about it.
The alien looked like a kite.
Or a cloud. But yeah, it looked a little different.
It was something.
Then you also have Allison Williams, which you might remember her from the Megan franchise. I'm actually a fan of the first movie. The second one, not terrible in my opinion. It is a mixed bag. You also got Catherine Keener, who people would probably recognize her most from The 40-Year-Old Virgin, a funny comedy. And then, you know what? I'm actually glad I looked this up. There's a character in the movie, Jeremy. He's supposed to be like the brother to Rose, played by Caleb Landry Jones. Turns out he's the guy that played Dracula in the French Dracula film that just came out last year that they just released in the US recently. We saw it yesterday. Yes. On Valentine's Day. Technically 2 days ago, because now we're after midnight on the 17th. We saw it on Valentine's Day, but no, we saw it the day after. We saw it Sunday. My bad. Yeah. My bad. I'm getting my dates mixed up.
Yep.
But bottom line is he played Dracula, and I thought he did a good damn job of it. But as far as Get Out's concerned, oh boy.
This is the whole thing of why you should meet the family probably before you start dating said person.
Who does that, though? Doesn't people usually date for a period of time before they start meeting the in-laws? Usually?
It depends on the person.
Yeah, it depends on the person. But you've got Chris and Rose. They've been dating for a period of time, and I guess they decided it's a good idea to have a weekend getaway up at her parents' house to meet Missy and Dean. Those are the parents. Now, at first, Chris kind of reads into the family's overly accommodating behavior as like nervous attempts to deal with their daughter's quote-unquote interracial relationship. But as the weekend progresses, a series of increasingly disturbing discoveries leads him to a truth that he could never have imagined. So basically, when he gets there, a lot of weird shit starts going on. Like the whole time he's there, he's talking to different people, and they're just giving off this weird vibe. Like every African American he comes across, they act like something's wrong. Something's not right all in their head or something. Like they act really off-putting. Then all of a sudden you got all these random, I'm going to say it, white people that start showing up at this like get-together party, whatever the hell. And again, they're all acting a little weird. There's something weird going on. And he picks up on it pretty quick.
That's when he should have left.
I agree. I totally agree with that. He actually does have a friend of his who works for the TSA. His name, Little Ray Howery. I don't know how to pronounce that properly. I apologize to the actor for that. The whole time that all this is going on, because I think the main character calls him like once or twice, talks to him. The whole time he is telling him to get the hell out of Dodge, but he doesn't do it. And quite frankly, he should have listened because things just get weirder and weirder. Bottom line, overall, what was your opinion on this? Negative, positive, mixed? What'd you think? Because I know we just watched this like last week.
Well,
last month. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said last week. I'm sorry.
It was an interesting take, I guess. It was pretty fucked up.
But not in a good way. The look on your face shows that you didn't get into it all that much. Well, it's okay if you didn't. It's okay.
I didn't mind it. Mm-hmm. But
not your cup of tea?
Premise of the whole thing was very... What the fuck?
I think that's the exact reaction he was hoping for, Jordan Peele. I think that's exactly what he wanted us to feel.
It would have been a lot better, I think, if you would have switched it around.
What do you mean? Have it to where it was the boyfriend-girlfriend dynamic was swapped the other way around, and it was the female who was in this bad situation versus the male that they could do an
meaning the racial ethnic part is switched around to where it was the African,
a white person surrounded by African American family, and
when she notices that something's not right when the other ones, because it'd be different.
You could argue that maybe some people would see that as possibly derivative of a past movie where that scenario kind of gets played out. Well, no, wait. No. I'm thinking of it from the wrong perspective. Never mind. Forget it.
No, to me, it would have been different. And I don't know, it would have appealed to me a little better that way and then it wouldn't make it seem so, I don't know what the word I'm looking for. Like,
well, if it comes to you, feel free to let me know.
Yeah, because I'll sit here trying to figure it out.
Because otherwise, for me, I enjoyed this movie pretty well. I thought it was a pretty good... You could argue it is kind of a horror movie, but I think it's also more of a thriller type movie.
I think it's...
Yeah, it's a mind fuck. It's a really big mind fuck. There is some really creepy shit going on with this movie. But I feel like the way things play out, especially in the end, I feel like it's very satisfying. There was a couple of different ideas on how Mr. Peele wanted to end the film. But the way he ended it, I think was very satisfying. Because there is an alternate ending on the Blu-ray or the 4K. Yeah. And personally, I get it. It's like a self-sacrifice situation where it's like, you know what, I did this, I'm satisfied with it, I'll just leave it alone. But the way they ended it, I think was actually more satisfying. So she keeps trying to put her phone down next to the microphone and it's making noise, so she apologizes.
Yes,
I can see the look on.
But you see, I don't have headphones on, so I can't hear this noise. All I know is I'm putting my phone down.
Don't worry, I'm gonna get you headphones. We're gonna buy some tomorrow, and then when they get here, you can sit on the bed or whatever you want to do while we do these recordings, and we should be able to hear you just fine. It'll go a lot smoother for you. Anyway, so I think that's what I wanted to say about Get Out. I enjoyed it. I definitely need to watch it again because, technically speaking, I've only seen the first half one time and the second half twice. I don't know if I mentioned this before, that the first time I ever saw the movie, it was the second half of the movie at my brother's. You know what? I didn't mention this.
I think you did. But yeah, it's not that I didn't like the movie. It was pretty fucked up. Mm-hmm. And if I was in that guy's position, those people wouldn't be around by the time I was done because that's pretty fucked up.
It is pretty fucked up. I will give you that. But that'll do it for Get Out. Now we're going to jump into the movies that we saw in January that were brand new, that were actually released around that time frame. I did mention before that some of these movies, technically speaking, were released in December, but we didn't watch them until January. Or at least I didn't. She didn't see all of these. But as far as the new films, there are 7, and I've already ranked them. This was not the easiest list to make for some of these movies, but coming in at number 7 is going to be probably the biggest disappointment of the month, even more so than You for the Room, and that's Return to Silent Hill. I know what that sound signifies. She fucking loved it.
Uh-huh. Sure I did.
No, not so much. Between the two of us, no, we didn't like this movie very much. I had high hopes for this one. I really did. I was hoping that it was going to be as good as the original film because to my understanding, the guy who directed the original film from, 2006, 2005, actually directed this film. And it was supposed to be loosely based on the Silent Hill 2 video game. So to say that I was actually kind of excited is an understatement. But right off the bat, I'll get the cast out of the way so we can really talk about the meat and potatoes. You got L.V. Templeton as Laura, Jeremy Irvine as the lead character James, and then you got Hannah Emily Anderson as Mary. I'll be honest with you, I don't really recognize any of these actors in anything. The only thing Hannah Emily Anderson was in was Jigsaw, which I'm not the biggest fan of Jigsaw, and I've only seen it a couple of times. I couldn't tell you who she played in that film. So, random cast. I don't think anybody is doing a terrible job with their roles here. I think Jeremy did a pretty good job with his character in the film based on what he was given to work with.
Yeah.
I feel like he did a good job with what he had. But, go ahead and talk about the thing you were talking about before. That's actually very interesting.
Well, what I found was Return to the Silent Hill movie adapts Silent Hill 2 by focusing heavily on the town's cult and more supernatural, forced illness narrative for Mary, rather than the game's focus on personal psychological trauma and terminal illness. Mm-hmm. While visually similar in the set pieces, the film changes core story element, which was stupid, making Mary a cult victim rather than just a wife with a terminal disease.
Which I think is more effective.
I think that
would have worked just fine.
I think it would have too, because even it says on here plot and lore. The film introduces the cult of Silent Hill as a major plot point, whereas the game keeps the story deeply personal and focused on James's psyche.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
that's what I've read about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and Mary's death in the game, Mary's death is an ambiguous.
Ambiguous.
Yeah.
Yes. Personal
act of mercy. The film frames her illness as a result of the cult's actions, making her death in some interpretations, clearer act of mercy at her insistence, which is...
So, bottom line here, I agree with everything that's being said here. Now, full disclosure, I've never actually had the chance to play the original Silent Hill 2, nor have I had a chance to play the remake yet. It is on my list of things I would like to do going forward. So, I didn't have the experience of playing through the game, and because I've been told part 2 is the greatest of the Silent Hill franchise.
Yes, my daughter enjoys that one a lot.
Well, she played the remake, right? Not the original?
What?
I mean, if it's a remake of the original part 2, that's probably the similar, if not the same story.
Part 2, whatever.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They remade part 2 just recently.
Maybe then, yeah, that's probably the one.
But I don't know how similar both of them are. I don't know if it's just like a graphical upgrade, but still keeping the same story or not. I'm not 100% sure. But before what I've been told, it is the greatest of the franchise, and I already watched Cody Leach's review of the movie Return to Silent Hill, and unfortunately for him, he is somebody who did play the original game. That's a good thing, but he was very dissatisfied with this movie, and a lot of the things that she just read are a lot of the things that he had a problem with. There were certain aspects of the game that were changed and had no reason to be changed whatsoever.
Yeah, you shouldn't change the core of something and then just try to give it the same name, because then it's not the same.
Yeah, tell that to the director of the Resident Evil franchise.
Oh my goodness.
But as far as what I thought about this movie, I did make notes when I initially watched it. I felt like there was only a couple of positives. I felt like some of the camera angles were kind of nice. They did seem kind of reminiscent because I have played the original game, so I am familiar with that. Those camera angles were kind of reminiscent of the original game. I thought that was a good thing.
That's exactly what it said on here.
Yeah, that's funny.
Because it says, while the film is praised for visual capturing the atmosphere and monsters of the game, it is criticized for failing to replicate the emotional depth and narrative momentum of the original story. Which, you know what? If it can't do that last part, then it's not the same story.
No, it's really not, from what I understand from the second game. There's certain things about the story that I am familiar with, and that goes into what I was going to put for my second positive. There were some nods, some references to the game series that I am familiar with, that I actually enjoyed. Things like the radio making the noise, that's like a staple of the franchise. Using any and every random possible type of weapon you can get your hands on, that's what the games are also famous for. And of course, the siren that signifies the change to the, foggy Silent Hill to the dark metallic world, the twisted world, whatever you want to call it. All these things are good for what they are, but here's the problem. If those are the only good things about the movie and everything about the story just fails across the board, then you got a problem. As somebody who's never played that game, even I felt like this movie failed immensely on a lot of different story elements.
It made me very exhausted after watching them.
That's true. She needed a nap afterwards. There is one thing I had to correct myself on about the movie. There's a lot of different creatures in the game, in the movie, that are reminiscent of the game, but as it turns out, some of these creatures weren't even in Silent Hill Part 2. I didn't fully know that at the time. But I was upset after watching it because I thought they were all CG. But it turns out, I went back and watched a feature on YouTube. I was wrong. It turns out they were practical effects. But here's the thing. They threw me off because sometimes you see these creatures, it looks like what they did is they sped up the footage to make it look like they're moving very erratically, and it looked fake. But it turns out it was real. They just sped it up, and it threw me off. So I at least give them credit for using practical effects, because I believe practical is the way to go. That's my favorite thing to do, especially in horror movies. Go see The Thing. You'll see what I'm talking about. But unfortunately, there are so many other things that just did not work. She pretty much nailed everything. The dialogue was not very good. The story needed fine-tuning. They made changes that did not need to be made. And I even put this in my notes, just like what you said. The movie physically drained me to sit through, and it was only an hour and 40 minutes. That's pretty bad.
I'm so glad it wasn't any longer. I would have gone to sleep.
So, you know what? We always say we give people credit for making movies, but there are just way too many things that were unnecessarily changed. And I think that's all I have to say about this movie. It's a damn fucking shame, but you know what? At least I have one good Silent Hill movie that I can always go back to whenever I want. And I will play the games eventually, and I might even talk about my experience playing them when I eventually do so. That's something I would love to do on this channel. All right, so moving on to number 6 is going to be the sequel to Greenland, Greenland 2 Migration. So right out of the bag, we still have the same two original actors from the previous film, Marina Baccarin and Gerard Butler. However, the son character is actually played by a different actor this time, Roman Griffin Davis. The only other thing I know him from another movie that actually came out last year, only so many months ago, that being The Long Walk. Highly recommend The Long Walk. Very good movie, very well acted.
Very sad.
Very fucking sad. Bring tissues. That's all I'm going to say about The Long Walk. But Greenland 2, well, what can I say? You know, it's funny. I forgot that the first Greenland movie even existed until I saw the trailer for this movie. And I remember thinking, I remember seeing a trailer for this movie a long time ago. I wonder why I never watched the movie, but it came out in 2020.
That would be why.
What?
That would be why.
That would be why. All I have to say is 2020. I think most people know exactly what I'm talking about. But as far as the sequel is concerned, here's a brief synopsis. In the aftermath of the comet that destroyed or decimated most of the planet, the Garrity family must leave the safety of their Greenland bunker to traverse a shattered world in search of a new home. So basically, It's like 5 years after the original film, and apparently there's a lot of sudden electromagnetic storms that are going on, leaving a whole bunch of like radioactive fallout, and there's earthquakes from the impact. So apparently there's an earthquake that takes place early in the film that completely destroys the bunker that everybody is inside of. Only so many people actually manage to get out. Most of these survivors are actually killed by a tsunami, and the facility is completely destroyed.
Sounds like we're living on Jupiter now.
Might as well be at this point. This planet's pretty much screwed after all that. So basically, and this all happens in the first 20 minutes. I don't know how much of a spoiler that really is, but I guess if you weren't expecting that to happen, but if you saw the trailer, you probably already have an idea. So basically, once the family barely manages to get their butt out of there and get into this weird submarine, it's not even a submarine, it's some kind of metallic boat of some sort. Basically, the whole entire movie is just them trying to get to another particular location. As a matter of fact, if I remember correctly, they're trying to get to the impact crater because supposedly it's livable. Yeah, exactly. I don't know how the hell that makes any sense.
How would the impact crater be livable? Wouldn't that have more problems right there at the site of impact?
You would think that. You would totally think that. Because, like I said, they escape on a lifeboat. They barely make it to Liverpool, and they go to various different places. Basically, the whole movie is just they're going from place to place, meeting different people along the way, just trying to get where they're trying to go. And quite frankly, yeah, here we go. They're believing the impact crater left by Clark, that was the name of the meteor, and the former Gulf of Lion and Mediterranean Sea, is where humanity has begun to rebuild.
They named the meteor Clark.
Yes, they did.
Clark.
Clark.
All
Okay.
right.
But yeah, I don't really understand how that works. I didn't really get the science of the whole thing, but this movie for me, she didn't get to see this one either.
Nope. No, I got to see Silent Hill though.
But not Greenland 2.
No, not that one.
Anyway, I'm in the middle of trying to have a conversation on the podcast, and you're too busy having a conversation with your hearts.
Yes.
Clearly, your priorities are in the wrong place.
Are they though?
Very much. But anyway, I found this movie to be exhausting. There's so many different situations along the way that put the family in constant peril. And I get it. That's what the movie is supposed to be about, that they're having to go through all these different obstacles, all these different situations to get where they're going. But after a while, it's like, okay, can we leave the family alone? They've been through enough. Leave them alone. That's enough. Just stop already. It wasn't a bad movie. I thought it was a little exhausting. That's all. But otherwise, all the performances are good. There are some heartwarming type moments along the way, some sad moments as well. But I mean, otherwise, I don't regret watching it. I do need a repeat viewing, and as I established before, we will be doing a double feature of this down the road so that she can finally experience it. Well, I don't know how long it'll be before this movie is available because it only came out a month ago. So we'll find out down the road. It's way different now than it was back in the 80s. Back then, a movie came out, it took almost a year before it came out on VHS. Nowadays, a movie comes out 2 weeks later. Oh, it's going to streaming. Except for Disney Plus. They take a while. I think they do that shit on purpose, trying to squeeze as much money out of it as they can.
Of course.
It's Disney. What do you expect? I'm not going to say anything else derogatory about Disney because they might send Mickey to my house and I'll be dead in the morning. So we're not going to go there. It's a small world after all. And she shakes her head at me. Okay, we're not going to sing that song no more. I don't think she likes that song. I got the lovely bunch of coconuts. Dee. I had to. Come on, I had to. That's a great Lions King reference. But yes, we will do that double feature one day down the road. Why are you pointing at me?
I have to let you know that I learned something new about Lion King.
Okay.
Because you were singing the Lion King song.
Right, I was. So
did you know in the beginning when they here, let me see if I take this.
I think I know where you're going with this. What the translation is?
From when they're in the beginning, where it says that it's a lion.
Yeah, the translation of the opening song. I actually saw that video.
Yeah, I saw the video, but I also read that they weren't saying it correctly. specifically when they were doing the video. It's supposed to be there's the king, the lion.
Apparently, the translation comes out to something like, it's a lion, oh my God, or something. The guy that translated it and the two other guys were like, really? That's not what it says. It's like, yeah, that's totally what it says.
That's what it says, but that's not what it was supposed to mean. It's supposed to be the king. It's like a song to praise the king. And, well, the king of the jungle is, well, the lion.
Yeah, look up the video on YouTube. It's actually freaking hilarious.
I did see that.
Yeah, it is freaking funny. But we're off on a tangent here, but that is a fun little antidote. But we're going to move on to number 5 of January. That's going to be Mercy.
I like
Mercy.
that one.
You like this one. Now, tell me, if I remember correctly, your daughter didn't like this one very much.
No, my daughter did not like this one.
But why? Without getting specific, well, what was it about it that she didn't care for?
She didn't care for that. She was rooting for the bad guy because in her eyes, she could see where the guy.
She feels like the villain was justified, is what you're trying to say.
In his eyes, yes.
I don't fully agree, but everyone has their opinion.
Yeah, she has a good opinion in her own brain, the way she sees it. So I get it. Like you said, everyone has their own opinion. I like to hear her sometimes. Sometimes it's a little rough. But
yeah, it can be.
But yeah, that's her whole thing. She was rooting for the bad guy because she understood where he was coming from. Without giving too much away.
Yeah, without giving too much away. But for those out there that don't know or never saw the movie, it's starring Chris Pratt, Rebecca Ferguson. I'm a big fan of both these two. And essentially, in a nutshell, it's in the near future, an advanced AI judge tells a captive detective that he's on trial for the murder of his wife, and he has 90 minutes to prove his innocence, and if he doesn't, he will be executed on the spot. So in the movie, at the time that this is happening, there's already been a handful of these kind of trials up until now. So up until now, it's been proven to be foolproof. All right. But Chris Pratt,
I think he did an awesome job for what he had.
His character swears up and down he had nothing to do with it. And because he's a cop, he is able to, well, not just because he's a cop, but he's able to use the AI to try to
kind of manipulate.
Basically kind of like just be like a detective, like kind of just go through all the scenario, go through all the details and try to figure out what really happened.
And that made him kind of find out where AI isn't foolproof. That's the best way of putting it. In a way, it's not foolproof. Because they trusted the AI. Once they caught somebody, the AI would be trial, judge, and execute.
Oh, I get what you're trying to say. Like, in other words, if he proves his innocence, then it'll prove that the system is debunked, essentially. So, a couple things. I did actually do a review on this. A few things I did talk about initially. There is no way that you can convince me that this movie was not influenced by Minority Report, because I swear it's a very similar idea. Just in this one, you don't have the main character running around trying to figure things out. He is secluded to a chair the whole entire time, which makes for a very interesting and very tense situation. But you could argue that because it is similar to Minority Report, some beats can be a little derivative of the original film, but I think there's enough difference here to keep it interesting. And I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed the movie for what it was.
I did too, but I kind of wish I saw it in 3D.
We were going to. I remember we talked about it. We found out it was in 3D, and I wanted to do that. They had it at the Draft House, but by the time we got around to where we were going to do it, they stopped showing it in 3D. The movie was still there, but they stopped doing 3D shows. It
would have been pretty cool the way they had it set up. I think it would have been really nice to see.
I agree. I would have been interested in that, but that boat has pretty much sailed at this point.
So if anybody has a 3D TV out there, I suggest to watch it. Or if you have a surround sound rich house where you can watch 3D in your place.
I look at it as there's always a possibility that somewhere down the road we could still experience that. But as far as the actors are concerned, the two main actors, they are both great in the role. I mean, you could argue that Rebecca Ferguson, this is not really a stretch of a character for her because she's mostly like a monotone character. She doesn't have a whole lot of emotion, but I feel like for somebody like her, I've seen different roles that she's been in, and to play that kind of a role, you have to be a good actor to pull that off. You know what I mean? Yeah. To be able to pull off just a straight face, just emotionless. I don't want to say robot, but that takes. I think that takes a lot of work to do something like that. I would love to see the outtakes, like her just like getting smiley and giggly, behind the scenes and whatnot. I think that would be hilarious.
Well, she did a good job on the parts that she had to show where he was manipulating her and she was like that's why I didn't say it all.
But I do like also one of the other things about the movie I really enjoyed is that it was told in real time.
Yeah.
The fact that the movie is only 95 minutes, that means that the 90 minutes he has to prove his innocence, we see those 90 minutes play out in real time, which is cool because you don't see too many movies like Nick of Time with Johnny Depp from way back when. That one movie comes to mind.
That's a long time ago.
And there's a lot of other good performances along the way. And unfortunately, it's been a while since we've seen the movie. This part of the podcast, we're actually filming in March. So we took it's been a while for us to come back to finally finish this podcast. So that's why it's going to be coming out very late after January.
Well, life obligations and all that.
Yes, life happens. We all know this.
We're
is all very true. But I'm trying to do better to get these things out, hopefully within like the first week of another month. You know what I mean? So I don't remember too many negatives outside of the main villain. Some of the things that he is trying to do, the way things are planned out, I find to be a little bit implausible. Just a little.
Yeah.
Well, again, without getting too specific.
And it's a little much. I think he could have gone a whole different way.
About what his intentions are. I agree. I agree. It is a bit much.
You could still do what he's doing, but in a different, safer way.
Without hurting so many innocent people. I completely agree with that. And the whole idea of how everything would have to be planned out, I find to be far-fetched.
For one person,
For one person to pull off. I agree. Yeah. But I still enjoyed it for what it was, but I feel like I think I only saw it the one time. I don't think I got to see it twice. So I'm waiting for it to come out on streaming so I can watch it a second time so I can do like a second video on it, or second viewing, I should say. But overall, I definitely enjoyed it.
I did too.
Cool. All right, so moving on to number 4, that being Marty Supreme. Was that a good awe or a bad awe? Okay.
That was chaos in a 2-hour film?
2 hours and 29 minutes.
That was chaos. That was legitimately a lot of chaos going on there, but it told a story, and he did a good job of it.
It told a very interesting story. I will agree with that.
They should have given him an Oscar for that one.
Well, he was up against some tough competition, but we will talk about that when we do our Oscar podcast, which is coming
back in June.
So Marty Supreme starred Timothée Chalamet. Gwyneth Paltrow's in it. Fran Drescher actually has a small part, and then Odessa, I can't pronounce her name, Azion. The only reason I bring her up is that she does have a big part, supporting part, but we actually saw her, or at least I did, in a few different movies that I enjoyed. Until Dawn, which was okay, a movie that came out last year.
Yeah,
and she was in the Hellraiser remake.
I've seen that one.
Okay, so we've seen them both. So definitely enjoyed her in that.
What other ones has she been in?
Those are the only two I know. But yes, I do agree. I feel like it's about time that Timothy wins a freaking Oscar. Between this movie and then last year was A Complete Unknown. That was a great flick.
Yeah, that
you know what I mean?
Was.
And he's also been in the Dune films. He was in the Wonka film. He's been around for a while.
Don't hurt yourself.
He's been around for a while. So I think it's about time this guy wins an Oscar. You know what I mean? So we'll see if he wins one eventually.
As long as, yeah.
But she's not wrong. This movie is a lot of freaking chaos. Essentially, for anyone who's never seen it, he's a guy who is basically trying to get to, what was it, Japan or China? I think it was
Japan.
I think it was Japan for a ping pong competition. I never thought I'd ever care enough about a person or a movie that I would want to see a ping pong competition, but this one actually made me interested in seeing him get to his goal.
It was a very big sport back in World War II. Believe it or not.
I would have to look that up. I did not know that.
That's why that movie is based in that era.
Okay. Well, that does make sense. It is a period piece, so...
It was kind of like how the women took over to play baseball while the men were
a league of their own. Yeah.
Well, ping pong was also another sport that the men that were there to do kill time, I guess you can say. But there's a lot more to it. I'm just not getting into it.
I could do some research before I eventually see this movie a second time. I only got to see it the one time, which is a bummer.
He's just a very interesting con man, because that's what he is. He's a con man.
He's a little shit. Let's be fair here. He's a little shit in the movie. He is.
Oh, you're telling me.
There's
times I wish I could reach through and slap him a few times.
I was going to say, that look you gave me, you looked like you disagree, but she totally agreed with me. Yeah, he's a little asshole. But the whole time, he's just trying to get to one goal, and the whole movie is just constant, like I said before, constant chaos to get to his goal.
Everyone be damned. That's the way he saw it.
Pretty much. I never imagined that I could actually be on the edge of my seat watching two people play ping pong multiple times throughout the movie, but they do a pretty damn good job of it. I was really impressed. The matches, honestly, they were actually fun to watch, especially the finale. The finale was really interesting to watch, for real. It was riveting as all hell.
Well, someone playing marbles back then was very riveting when they knew what they were doing.
Okay, we're comparing ping pong to marbles.
Hey, marbles are fun.
Marbles.
Have you ever seen them race? It's pretty cool.
Marbles race.
Yeah, I'll have to show you one day.
Okay, we're going off on a weird tangent. Now we're talking about racing marbles, everybody. Coming out next summer. Racing marbles.
Hey.
Yeah.
Don't knock it till you see it.
I guess not. We'll look into that some other time. So that'll do it for Marty Supreme. I do look forward to watching this movie a second time. I'm hoping it hits as well the second time. Time will tell. I'm not sure if it's on streaming yet or not, but we'll find out. Now, coming in at number 3, she didn't get to see this one.
I did not.
Zootopia 2. Now, that's okay. I'll take the lead on this one since you didn't see it. I will say this about Zootopia. I was genuinely afraid that the trailer, after watching the trailer, I should say, I was afraid that this was just going to be another movie dealing with prejudice, just like the first one did. Like, I thought it was going to be the similar plot idea, but it turns out it was a little bit more deeper than that. There's actually a lot more funny little details in the movie, just like with the first one, without getting too specific. I'm sure there were a few that I missed along the way. But again, as far as I know, it's already on Disney Plus. I will check it out again sometime soon, maybe do a second viewing on it, and we'll see if I have as much fun with it the second time. And there's even a couple of little nods to the original film. Was there any kind of impression you had on the movie? I know you didn't see it, but was there anything that you were...
Was a sloth in it?
What?
Was a sloth in it?
I want to say there was a brief, cameo with the sloth.
I love the
a sloth.
I like the sloth.
Because that scene at the DMV in the first movie, I thought was hilarious.
I feel him going so slow, but he's getting his job done.
Yes, you move very slow. Very slow.
I do not.
Very slow. But we still got the same cast from the original movie. Jennifer Goodwin as Judy Hopps, and of course Jason Bateman as Nick Wilde. In this movie, it basically picks up where the last movie left off. They're partners now in the precinct. And this one also has an additional character from Ki Hu Kwan, or Short Round from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. It took me, the snake character that they used to promote this movie, the whole movie, I was like, I know that voice. Who is that? Who is that? And then when I saw the name at the credits, I was like, oh, I'm sad I didn't figure that one out. But I love how this guy has made a comeback since he came back to do Everything Everywhere All at Once, I think it was called. I keep forgetting the title. I actually own it on Blu-ray, but it's been a while since I've watched it. Between that one, Love Hurts, and then this one, I'm like, yeah, get this guy more work. I want to see more work from this guy.
Yeah, he's good. I agree. I liked Love Hurts. Love Hurts was good.
You liked it more than I did, I think. But
Probably.
But I only saw it the one time. I need to watch it again. She bought it for me on Blu-ray. It's in my collection now. I will go see it again before it's all said and done. Well, it's in my collection. I watch everything in my collection. You know that. You should know that by now.
I do.
I've been doing that for over 10 years. It's been a big project. Big project.
I do know that.
Sorry, I had to take a breath.
I'm glad you're doing that. Keep doing it. That's how you stay alive.
Uh-huh. Well, I do still like the chemistry between the two main characters. They definitely pick up right where they left off, and that's actually pretty cool. We do get to explore a little bit more further into their friendship, than the first movie. Definitely their friendship is kind of put to the test a little bit, as I recall. Like I said, it's been a little while since I've seen it, but I do remember at least some details, and I know I took some notes on this movie, but I never actually did a review on my channel. But there were plenty of times throughout the movie where I was laughing or just smiling while I was watching it, just having a good old time. So I most definitely look forward to watching it again. I'll probably wait for you to be around so you can check it out for the first time, and I'll do my best not to ruin it for you.
I don't think you will.
You don't think I will?
No.
I could.
You could.
I could.
I'll ask you to.
You'll ask me to ruin it for you? I'll ruin it for you right now. Okay, so let me just detail.
Everybody else does not want you to ruin it, sir.
Do they, though?
No.
Do they?
No.
I think everyone's like, do it. Do it.
No, that's the little worm in your brain telling you that. Not everybody.
They're saying do it in their best emperor voice.
Okay. The little worm.
Yeah, little worm. Okay, so I'm not going to lie. When it comes to the number 1 and number 2 movie for January, this was tough. This was really, really tough. Because my 2 favorite movies, I'll just mention it now. The 2 favorites that I had were Send Help, which is the new Sam Raimi film, and then 28 years later, The Bone Temple.
I would have put Send Help for number 1.
See, here's my thing. I put Send Help at number 2. I had to put it at number 2. Don't get me wrong. It's a fun movie. It definitely has Sam Raimi's touch written all over it. I do love Rachel McAdams in this movie. Let me get the name of the other main actor, because I swear I haven't really seen him in anything outside of this movie, but he has been in plenty of stuff. But unfortunately, I haven't seen any of that stuff yet. Dylan O'Brien, who played Bradley, when the movie starts out, he is the boss. He is
an asshole.
He's a prick. He's a major prick. In the film, she's supposed to be getting a promotion from the guy who owns the company she works for, but unfortunately, he passes away off screen early on. We never see too much about this. So now, this asshole, Dylan O'Brien's character, takes over the company and flat out says, no, we're not giving her the promotion. No, he gives it to some other asshole who's only been there for 6 months.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up.
Yeah, this is a guy who purposely goes out of his way to take credit for her work. Kind of like that asshole from 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Mr. Hart. It's kind of like that. And I mentioned that in my review as well.
There's a lot of movies that are like that.
Mm-hmm.
Where someone takes advantage, and yeah, that's pretty messed up.
But I cannot recommend this movie enough. It was so much fun for anyone who doesn't know.
Yes.
Something happens with a bunch of different company people, including the boss, Dylan O'Brien's character, and Rachel McAdams. They're on a plane. They're going through a bad storm. The plane goes down. They're the only 2 survivors. And he ends up washing up on shore. She takes care of him while trying to set up camp at the island. And the whole entire movie is really just her trying to help them survive and him trying to find a way off the island. Like, he just will not accept the fact that they're probably going to be stuck there for a long time, potentially forever. He refuses, no matter what happens, he refuses to let that shit go.
Whew.
But I'll tell you what, it's a fun little movie. A lot of back and forth between these two. I feel like they really had a lot of good chemistry. I really, when I saw this movie, I think I saw it two.
Yes, you saw it.
I saw it. I can't remember 2 or 3 times because I know I saw it with you, and I know I took my son to go watch it. He enjoyed it. He thought it was fun. And on the surface, I couldn't think of anything major to complain about.
No,
nothing too major at all.
Just a little, what's the word?
Power hungry. Basically what ends up happening is when they're on the island, she becomes the boss of him. She's the one who has been watching Survivor. She actually did have a video out to try to audition for it. So she knows a lot of these little survival tactics and whatnot. He doesn't know any of this stuff. So she automatically becomes the alpha, if you will.
Yeah.
That's the best word I can describe it. But yeah, that's what happens. She becomes the alpha in this situation, and she is unwilling to let him leave because she doesn't want to relinquish the power.
Well, she
basically
still have power, though. When you
not
think,
really,
without giving a lot away, she could have still had that power, just not over him.
Well, that's what it was. She didn't want to lose that power over him. I mean, it could have just as easily been, you know what? He could have gotten off the island and she could have just stayed there by herself, but she would have been alone and she wouldn't be in charge of anybody anymore. That's what it was. It was a power struggle. It was a situation where she didn't want to relinquish said power. That's what the movie was about.
I can't give too much away, so I can't
exactly.
Really say much
We don't want
more
to talk
than
too much about the details, but
yes, what you just said.
Also, I did watch it a second time. I will eventually do a second viewing review where I will go into spoilers. I just won't do it here. So, but suffice it to say, this was a very fun movie. There was a lot of comedy mixed in. Even the ending was like, okay.
If you like Sam Raimi, you will like the movie.
Yeah, like I said, it's definitely got his little signature written all over it. But even though I had so much fun with Send Help, me personally, I had to give the #1 spot for the month of January to the Bone Temple. I had to. And quite frankly, Bone Temple is already on my potential top 10 of the year. That's how much I enjoyed it. For the mixed bag that 28 years later was for a lot of people, even for me, the first time I watched it, I remember just thinking, what the hell did I just watch? Especially the ending. The last, 3 minutes of the movie, I was sitting there like, what the fuck did I just watch? What happened? But it was just a little weird. That's all.
But when you think about it, those aren't zombies. They're just infected. So they're alive.
Well, we're not talking about zombies right now. I'm talking about the guys, the Teletubby guys.
Oh,
those guys were weird. No, I mean, I
didn't know they were Teletubby guys.
Well, that's what they referred. That's what he referred to themselves in the in Bone Temple. But no, in the 28 years later, for anyone who doesn't know, this whole series, they're not, like she said, they're not technically zombies. They are infected, essentially. It's like they have a disease, essentially.
Yeah, that's the best way of looking at it. It's kind of like having AIDS. Because it's literally what it is. It's an infection.
It's a complete infection, and they have no control over themselves. So, and they're fast. So you can still think of them as zombies in a manner of speaking, because the original film came out around that time, like right around the time Dawn of the Dead remake came out, where all of a sudden we don't have slow-moving zombies. I got my arms out. I'm slowly walking. No, we have, I'm jumping up after I turn. I'm running, and I'm going to eat your fucking flesh. That's the kind of zombies we got.
Yeah, because their heart's still pumping. That's the difference.
Well, because they're scarier that way. I mean, slow-moving zombies, you can easily get around, but if they're chasing you, you're screwed. If it's like in Zombieland, like the whole thing about the rules, like the cardio rule. Like, if you cannot run, you are in big trouble.
Well, it looks like I'll be dead.
That's me too, with me and my bad knees. So,
well, yeah.
But Bone Temple, on the other hand, This movie is nowhere near as weird as the previous film. This one,
it has its own weird, but it's not bad weird.
I mean, for one thing, it does pick up exactly where the first movie leaves off, where you have what was it? What the hell was the kid's name? I always forget his name.
I don't remember his
name. It was
like I just know
Butch or
Jimmy.
some shit. Let me look that up. I can't remember. All right, so basically the movie picks up right where the last movie ends, with Spike joining the quote-unquote Teletubby characters led by Jimmy. The Jimmy character, who we do see briefly in the beginning of 28 years later, but now he's all grown up. He leads the Teletubby characters and whatnot. And apparently when the movie starts out, they're having Spike fight one of the other Jimmys, because apparently this guy is so crazy. He names all the people that are following him Jimmy.
Which is weird.
It is weird, but he's making him fight one of them as a form of initiation, essentially. So, yeah, doesn't go well for Spike throughout the entire film. But I'll tell you one thing.
Not at all.
Initially, I heard a lot of complaints about how the character, after everything he went through in the previous film, how this one, he didn't have a whole lot to work with, and he's kind of a pussy throughout the movie. And upon rewatching it, they're not wrong. He really kind of is. After all the character arc that he went through in the previous film, he doesn't really do much of anything but just sit and look scared the whole movie.
Because he was scared.
He was, but it just, I don't know, it kind of offsets everything he went through in the previous film, where he was like learning how to take care of himself and he's learning how to be a man. And this one, he's just a scared child the whole time.
But that guy pretty much took a spirit out of him.
You could argue that is a testament to just how scary,
the crap out of him.
Just how scary the Jimmy character is. You could argue that point. I won't argue that, but still, it really just kind of offshoots his performance in the previous film and how he was before he met the characters. But there is something that happens in the film where you could argue it was a little bit of redemption for him, without getting too specific. Jimmy is one sick son of a bitch.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be near him.
No, he is we saw little glimpses of it at the end of the previous film, but in this one, yeah, he's a crazy sick son of a bitch.
He really is.
He really is. I think he's a very well done villain, personally. I really do. I felt like the pacing in this movie was actually pretty good. How we're constantly shooting between not just the whole Jimmy Teletubby group, but we're also shooting back to Ray Fiennes' character, the Doctor.
I think the movie more focuses on Ray Fiennes than it does anything else, because he is the one. What's the word I'm looking for? Like, he's the one growing without giving too much away. He's the one growing in his character.
Well, I will agree. I feel like his story between him and Samson, the Alpha, the Alpha infected from the previous film that we see, in this one, he gives him a name of. I just said it. Samson, thank you. He gives him the name of Samson, and throughout the film, he injects him with some form of
Don't give too much.
No. Well, I mean, I have to talk about this because this is why I put this at the top. He puts something into him that kind of makes him a little bit. I want to say,
trying to figure out a virus, like a
cure.
Yeah, a vaccine. That's what I was trying to say.
He's essentially trying to find some kind of a vaccine, but what he does is that he manages to get Samson to be like immobile, where he can just kind of sit and spend time with him. And there's several scenes of them just sitting in the field, sitting next to each other, and he's just talking to him. Kelson, his name was, his character. And you know what? I don't think I've ever seen a movie like that, where you have zombie infected, whatever you want to call them, where you have a regular human character literally just sitting with them for the interactivity. That's interesting and thought-provoking as all hell, in my opinion. And this is why I love this movie so much, because you don't see this from these kind of movies, like, ever. It was a nice step in a whole new world, in my opinion, and I really enjoyed it. And the way the story plays out throughout the film, it goes further into this. It gets more and more interesting. I won't ruin how it all plays out.
Yeah,
But
don't
suffice
do
it to say, I enjoyed where they went with this whole thing. It was very satisfying. It was a lot of fun with seeing how everything went. And quite frankly, there is a scene that if you saw the trailer, you already know about this, where Ralph Fiennes has to do this kind of like a dance using music in the background. It's a very fun scene.
Yeah.
Because what ends up happening is that Jimmy comes into contact with Kelson, and he comes up with the idea of using Kelson to try to make it seem like he's the devil, so that they will follow his followers, the Teletubby characters will follow him no matter what. So he decides, Kelson does, to put on a show for everybody. And the way he sets the whole thing up and the way he does it, it's weird, but goddamn is it fun. It is so much fun. And he uses an Iron Maiden song as well, which it's one of my favorite Iron Maiden songs of all time.
Of course.
Number of the Beast.
Yeah.
So it is a lot of fun. So I've already seen this movie multiple times. I do have my notes for a second viewing. I just haven't done it yet. But I cannot wait to own this movie in my collection. And I guarantee this is probably, as of right now, going to be my favorite of the franchise. But there's going to be more. Especially how they ended it. That without getting specific, without saying anything specific.
Could they just stop while the getting is good?
No. Do you not remember how it ended?
Vaguely.
Okay. Well, the bottom line is the ending, for fans of the original film, there is a nice little surprise at the end of the film. I am now you remember. I am very interested to see where this is going to go. I look forward to it. I just hope that it delivers as well as this movie did. It'll probably, I don't know if they're already filming it or what. I was very surprised how this movie came out very soon after 28 years later, but I'm pretty sure they did them back to back at the same time. Kind of like Back to the Future 2 and 3, how they filmed those simultaneously. So we'll see how long it takes before we get, because they did say they wanted to do a trilogy with the 28 years later. It was 28 years, Bone Temple, and whatever the hell the next one's going to be called.
So it's going to be its own trilogy.
Exactly. Okay. Like, it was already an idea that was thought out from the get-go, which I'm okay with.
I know that.
But yes, that was without a doubt my favorite movie of January, no doubt about it. It is, like I said, it's on my potential top 10 of the year. Send Help, maybe that will be on the list as well, but it just depends on how the year goes, because we're just barely in March. We got a long way to go. We got Fantastic Fest in September. We can't wait for Fantastic Fest. That is like the number one thing I look forward to every year, next to my son's birthday.
Well, I'd hope so.
She always says that, like, I hope so. It's like, well, he's my son, of course. But that does it for the January rankings. I apologize if this came off a little clunky along the way, but it's my first time doing this. Hopefully February will be a little bit smoother, and I'll be a little bit better prepared. Hopefully.
That we'll probably do, hopefully, before May.
That is the goal, ladies and gentlemen. That is the goal. Try to have the February movies done in May. But
there you go. Have it all done by,
But is there anything you want to say before we sign off? Before I do all my preliminary closing stuff?
This was fun. And I got my own headphones.
Yes, it's just we still need to figure out how to get you your own microphone that actually works independently. We haven't got there yet, but now she can hear herself. She can hear
at a time.
That's why I said one step at a time. At least this is a step in the right direction.
Just keep stepping. Just keep stepping.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
Exactly.
What do? We swim. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and cut it here. Thank you very much for listening. I do appreciate it if you made it all the way to the end. I do. But feel free.
I would like to know if they actually did. Please leave a comment if you actually did.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good idea. If you finish the video, made it to the end, listen to the whole thing, leave a comment.
Saying,
let me know.
I did it.
Yes, exactly. I want to see comments saying, I did it. Big 4 exclamation points.
Yes.
But otherwise, yes, leave a comment. Feel free to like if you enjoyed this. Give me a dislike if you don't. Feedback is welcome. Any kind of feedback. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. There's going to be more of these going forward. It's been kind of a dry few weeks, but it's going to get better. I promise. But for the record, it's only been dry on my channel. Just to go ahead and promote the other podcast that I've been on as of late. You've got the Josh Zodiac Podcast. Comes out Mondays, if I remember correctly. Me, Josh Zodiac and Sir Charles, or I think he now changed his name to Charles Housen. Those episodes come out every Monday. We talk about weekly WWE news. And since we love movies here on this channel, I also join him and Lord Scuba Cabra for the Reel Movie Critics. Again, we also do episodes every week for the most part. That also, I believe, comes out on Mondays. So feel free to check that out. But that's going to do it for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize that it's been a while since I put one out, but we're going to start pumping them out here pretty soon. But in closing, take care of yourselves. Please be safe. But don't forget to have fun. Just not too much fun.